Mic check, mic check. All right, thanks everyone for joining us and for being here this afternoon. 3 quick notes before I pass it off to Coach. One, tonight's sellout crowd is the 35th consecutive in QT Stadium history, extending the league's longest active sellout streak. Austin FC is now the only team in MLS history to come from 2 goals down to win 4 times in a single season. And
kind of our trademark.
And the release will be going out shortly if it hasn't already, but the Western Conference semifinal will be played at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, October 23rd, to air live on ESPN and ESPN Deportes. With that said, we'll pass it over to Coach Wolff for an opening statement.
Yeah, we're really proud, really excited for our organization and certainly for our players and our fans. But, I think, I said it to these guys. I said it after the game when we got interviewed on the field. A lot of thanks goes to Anthony Precourt. A lot of thanks goes to Anthony Precourt and Eddie Morgan and the rest of the ownership group. They've built an incredible stadium. They've built an incredible training center. They've given the players and these fans a forum to express themselves, to come out in full force, and they do it every week. And not all owners are the same in this league, and they've been incredible for us, from the inception. And they'll continue to support us. So I have nothing but admiration and appreciation for Anthony and the rest of the ownership group. The game was a challenge. We didn't start terribly well. It was a standard cross, and we don't deal with the first one, and we get behind. And the penalties, unfortunate. It was unfortunate for Johan. So right away, we're 2 down, 10 minutes in, 12 minutes in. Fortunately and unfortunately, not a situation that we haven't faced before, whether it's at home or on the road. And the next goal is really important. And when we grab that one, I think we all feel and understand that we're capable of scoring goals. But it was challenging. That's a good group. They compete hard, and when they took a red, we took full advantage of the sending off. It took us a little while, but we got that second goal, and then obviously closed it out in penalties. But resiliency, teamwork, collective, our roots on display always, and these guys, a lot of credit goes to them, obviously. That's why he's the MVP. That's why he's been the MVP all year. I don't think how it can be. It could be any other way. That's who he is, and he's been an unbelievable ambassador for our organization, and certainly a leader of our team on the field. And when it's crunch time, the guy delivers. So, incredible night for everyone, and we'll rest up and get ready for next week.
Phil West.
Hey, congrats on the win first of all,
Thanks,
Josh.
Phil.
Yeah. So I asked you last week about preparing for PKs. Didn't think it'd be activated so soon.
Yeah.
Can you talk about just kind of the preparation of the week and how you prepared for that moment?
Yeah, we had 3 days probably where we utilized the penalty kicks. We had some inter squad with the academy guys out there as well. So trying to create any kind of forum where there's a crowd and certainly some noise we brought in. So at the end of the day, you go through it just to get a familiarity with who wants to take it. But after 120 minutes, the first thing you ask is who's ready for it, who wants to take it, and the guys stepped up and obviously did a fantastic job. Brad was tremendous, and he's done that. His record on penalties, in run of play is quite good, but that was pretty impressive. He probably almost had all 4 of them.
And then 38 shots tonight, 1 goal from open play.
Yeah.
Any just unlucky or anything that you see for the next round?
Yeah, I think if I look at the video, when I look at the video, there's probably some chances in there that we missed. I think there's probably 1 or 2. We put them under a lot of pressure, and we should. Obviously, being up a guy, there's a lot of guys in the box. We have a lot of services coming from deep areas. You try to get in line, shots from distance when you can get them. But for me, it's more about getting bodies in front of goal. And Seba hit the post. Emiliano missed 2 or 3. There's plenty of guys. I think there was plenty of opportunities to score goals. And for me, it was always going to be get the second one, and the third would come. It just took a little while to get the second one, and then. Obviously, we weren't able to squeeze a little bit more out of it in the overtime. But we found a way, and we move on. It's all this game is about when you get into the knockout phase. Win and move on.
Bob?
Besides just the MLS record, you've trailed a lot this year. Why have you had so much success? What is it inside this team that gives it so much success coming back?
Character. There's a lot of character inside our group, a lot of leadership that we brought in, a lot of leadership that we had. We also give these guys the space to grow, and we've talked about that from our start this year. And the resiliency piece has been there, all throughout the year. And going on the road, at home, down a guy, up a guy, whatever the situation is, these guys find a way to stay calm. Obviously, we have ideas what the game's going to look like against certain structures, and if we are up a guy or down a guy, but they find ways. And there's always wants to be a hero, but they're all heroes. They work so hard. They stay committed to it, and I think that's a big part of it is having the discipline and having clarity how you're going to score goals. And it took a little while, but we got a couple, and obviously we feel like we should have had more.
And is Brad just good at reading people? I mean, he's had success this year against penalties.
Yeah, I think you do your homework, and I think Preston, is been in this league a long time. He preps them really well. Our entire staff has done an incredible job this year. The high performance team, the coaching staff, the technical staff. Everybody involved with the organization plays a role in this, and I think Brad, it's part of his responsibility. It's part of us as coaches to put him in a space to succeed. But he's done extremely well on penalty kicks, and that's definitely something that plays into the minds of shot takers. There's no doubt about it. So a lot of credit goes to him for being prepped, but at the end of the day, making the plays and executing when all the lights were on.
Dennis and then Arch.
To gut one out the way you did it, is there such a thing as taking momentum to the next round? Because, I mean, that was nuts the way you guys pulled it off.
It will certainly take some momentum. We gotta clean up some things, obviously. We'll figure out who our next opponent is. We'll learn that tomorrow. And get prepared for them. But I think there'll be, there's plenty of reason for momentum. The fans, the energy inside our stadium, again, is palpable, and it's not like that everywhere. I say that quite often, but it's a unique relationship with the fans, the players, and our community, and they push us on. There's no doubt about it.
Josh, 3 changes at the break, which I think might have been the first time you've ever done that since being head coach here. What was the? I know you're down a goal there, but the motivation to get those guys on at the break rather than waiting kind of around minute 60.
Yeah, not to waste time. Get them on. Let's see if we can keep this, push the tempo a little bit more, bring in another body with Musa. Obviously bringing in Danny to give a little bit more of the facilitating the ball a little more. He can dribble and break lines a bit better. And Emiliano. I mean, Emiliano came in and probably had 2 or 3 chances right out the gate, and if he grabs 1, he probably grabs 3. And, it's I don't know if he had the shot that led to the penalty or not, but his contributions were solid. We could have had more goals. There's no doubt about that. And you can't waste time. You got 45 minutes. They're going to be a little bit deep and trying to absorb, and you got to find your ways to create chances. So Emiliano's good 1v1, dipping inside for service. He can also go to his right. Musa gives us a much different reference point in the box alongside Alex and Seba when they're arriving. And we try to utilize the service. We probably could have got behind the line a little bit more on the strong side, but at the end of the day, we did enough to win and move on.
Michelle and then Jorge.
Thank you. Hi, Coach.
Hello.
Talk to me about your emotions right now. I mean, it was such an exciting game, making playoffs already exciting. Just talk to me a little about time to reflect. I don't know if you've had that opportunity, but, a big jump from last season.
Yeah, it is. It's an emotional. I got that question on the field, and the word that I used to describe today was emotional. And there's a lot of reasons that I say that. I mentioned our owners, I mentioned our fans, but our players and our staff, what they've committed to this year, the time they spend away from their families to do what they do, the effort that they've given us, from preseason to date, and as a coach and as a leader, you're really proud of the people that you work with, and they're awesome. They're absolutely awesome.
Hi, Josh. We received 2 goals very quick on the field, and the last 5 minutes, I think, very dramatic. What you tell them about the 2 goals too early, and if you can share the last 10 minutes of the game, what were your thoughts?
Are you asking what did I say about the goals at the beginning?
Yeah, to the team on the halftime, because it was like very early in the team.
I don't know. We don't really address the goals. It's not really the time or the space. It's more about figuring out how we're going to go and get our second goal and go win the game. So I talked to them real simply in halftime. We show them video and exactly how we had numbers in wide areas and how it was pulling their center back out. There were so many opportunities where we're 3 against 2, 4 against 3 inside the penalty box. Just service and staying calm in those moments. And then, as it went deeper into the game, we were going to move Julio higher, which we talked about and actually worked on at training earlier in the week when we need a goal. And the fact that they were down a guy makes that a little bit easier. So we got Julio up there, Musa and Seba obviously in front of goals, and now we have more bodies. And, obviously we got to keep a couple guys back to be able to clean things up. But I think there was good understanding of what we needed to do, and we were able to grab that second goal that got us the tie.
Coach, the undiscussed thing about penalty kicks, any good superstitious rituals that you or the team practice in before you go on the pitch?
No, I think we had, we were in our office and that we wrote down from the starters, if we ran our starters 120 minutes, knowing we wouldn't, who we wanted, and then having ideas about who we were going to bring in and who wanted to take them. So no superstitions, more just dialogue with guys. And like I said, we had 2 or 3 days worth of penalty kicks to be able to look at and evaluate. But on a day like this, when there's exhaustion and there's pressure and things are difficult, they're not quite the same as taking on a training pitch. So the guys that stepped up did great, and Brad did his part. So once again, the collective was on display and quite rewarding. Katie?
Yeah, can you tell me what you talked to the guys about at halftime? They came out with a much better second half. So how do you get, the mentality back in the game when they're down early like that?
Yeah, I think we went down 2-0, and I already think our mentality was better. Obviously, when you're down a goal, you're charging, you're putting more energy into it. At halftime, we came in, and as I mentioned previously, we showed them some clips. It wasn't going to be about defending. It was going to be about attacking and finishing actions. So just giving them a little bit more clarity as to how the positioning can work and how we can utilize numbers in wide areas, but what that's doing to them along their back line. They were always going to have, it was a 4-4-1 for a little while. They went to a 5-3-1. So they were going to be deep, and it's always challenging when there's 7, 8 guys of the opponent in there. But we had a lot of clear chances that we missed, I think, and that can always change the complexion of the game in a quicker way. But we got the goal. It took us a little while, but at that point we knew there was another 30 minutes, so we wanted to not really leave ourselves exposed, but not take too many risks other than without need, and we just weren't able to capitalize during the run of play. For some players are new to this league, and for some young players are new to the situation. So the idea was obviously to have some experience in the middle of the park with Alex, who's done that already in this league, and Johan's played a lot of big games. So unfortunate to take a handball. I don't think I think it's more bad luck, poor positioning for him. I'm not sure how you would say it. It's obviously hit his arm, and it is a penalty. So, the first goal is the first goal. That's a standard cross, and we need to deal with it better with the pressure out wide. But that's right in front of our strong side center back that we should be able to deal with. But Johan, I think, settled in the first half and certainly got a feel for it. And once they took the red card, there's less emphasis on the defending components, more on how you can speed the game up and utilize some of our advantages around the field, and Danny does a good job with that. So did Emiliano and Musa, and Z came in and gave us, what he gives us with service, and Felipe's just tireless. He's in the box, he's out wide, he's a pest, so he does a little bit of everything, which is good.
Thank you.
Thanks. Go back to Corey.
Go ahead, Corey.
Hey, Coach.
Hello.
They showed you on the big monitor before Sebastian's game-tying goal. It looked like you couldn't even watch it. What was going on through your emotions?
Just wanted to make sure it went in. I thought I'd stand behind Tosh at a good angle. So no, it's emotional. It's not easy. I don't envy what happened to Salt Lake. That's a good team. Pablo's a fantastic coach, and that team put a lot into the beginning of that game, and deservedly so. They're up 2-0. So that goal got us right back into it. It's a late penalty. It's a deserved penalty, as was the deserved red card. So you got to take the opportunity and make the most of it. And I said we've faced those challenges many times this year, at home and on the road. We've been given the red cards and had to grind. We've also benefited from the opponents taking a red card and had to push through it. And I think that's why these guys are fairly comfortable in that situation. But the players deserve a ton of credit. They executed, in the run of play, but as well as in the penalty shootout.
And lastly, Coach, does a performance like today solidify Sebastian's argument for MVP?
I think so. I mean, I'm a little biased, I guess, but he's been doing this all year, and he maybe had a little bit of a lull here at the very end. He had an abdomen thing around the All-Star, he had a knee thing as well that we were monitoring, and we'd clinched second place. So some of those things maybe worked against him, but he's been doing this all year, and you want your stars to show up when everything's on the line. And like I said, he had about 7 goals tonight, and that's what he's about. That's what he does, and he's as humble and respectful of the opportunity that he has as a player, but he gives all the credit to his teammates as well. And that's a tribute to who he is as a human being.
Laura?
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Did you feel like the team lacked tenacity to open the game, or was it a few bad breaks y'all had?
No, I don't think they lack tenacity. I think the start is okay, and then it's a simple cross. You got to get out and close it down. You got to deal with a cross coming in the box. I think Ruben can do a better job at the front post. That's as soon as the guy moves across him, he's got to compete. Cordova's a big guy. We got 3 guys in our center mid in there, as you would expect for it, and we just don't deal with it well enough. Ruben did many things very well in the game, and it's a challenge, but it's twofold. We can deal with it out wide better, and then obviously in front of goal. But the handball was frustrating. It happens. It's the right call, and then we got to react and respond from that. So after that, I thought we picked up the pace. The tempo was good. Created some chances. Obviously got the goal, and from there we were able to take advantage of the red card.
Do you think the outcome result is only good luck from you?
Is only what? I'm sorry.
Good luck.
Is only good luck. Yeah, I think it's part of the game. You gotta take the good with the bad, and we've been on both sides of that this year, and this will give our guys a good feeling. Obviously, we'll give them a couple of days off to breathe a bit and get ready for our next opponent. But the guys did a great job today, hanging in there, and then finding a way to grind through it and grab a result.
Good, Kurt. You can just ask a question.
Yeah, I think it's you don't ever. I don't think of losing. I look at it as an opportunity to obviously play in front of our fans, and we set a big goal at the beginning of the year to play a home playoff game. It was ambitious, given where we finished last year, but I think Claudia, myself, our entire technical staff, high-performance staff believed in that. We believed that we had the quality to get that done, and the year starts out how it is. There's probably a lot of uncertainty as to what it's going to look like, but I think right away we established what we were, who we were, our key components, and we drove that the entire year. We were pretty consistent all year. We were in first, second place. I don't know if we dipped the third maybe for a half second, but there was a lot there that this team did extremely well. So if we would have lost tonight, would it be disappointing? I don't think so. I mean, it was a tremendous year, and it's a lot to be proud of as an organization, as players and staff, and as a city. And pleased that we were able to get through the night and do it in the fashion that we did. But the next game will come quickly. It'll be challenging regardless of who it is, and our guys will have to be ready. But the good news is it's at Q2, and I think we all see what that looks like, and it's exciting. Like it, yep. I think the elimination puts the advantages where it should. If you earn it, you're at home, and that should be your advantage. And we utilized it tonight. Bob.
Miliana missed the one on the doorstep right at the beginning of the second half and then had another header. Is he the kind of guy that can wash that stuff pretty easily? And did you think, win or lose today, did you think you pressed at all in the second half, maybe a little more than you wanted to, and just trying to get that second goal?
Yeah, I think you're up a guy, so there is this, we always talk about the urgency to go make a play and the calm to now sit in situations to create better situations. So he could have had a couple goals. There's no doubt about that. And his service on a few of them were extremely good. It's getting him to obviously stay calm as well, attract the opponent in certain moments. But the more he gets comfortable and understands us, again, if he got one tonight, he might have got a 2 or 3. He was right there on the doorstep, and but I'm pretty pleased. He came in to help. He contributed. He obviously maintained a good standard in the second half, and he took his penalty well.
Eric?
Josh, any playoff game is going to be, a big high-pressure atmosphere, big moment, but, first in franchise history in your home stadium, that doesn't get much bigger in terms of moments. To have a team that is able to meet that moment, how reassuring is that?
It's gratifying, and it's gratifying for the players and the organization. It's the fashion that we win in is that plays itself out. But these guys deserve to be in this situation. They earned the opportunity to play at home. They took the opportunities that the game gave us, and now we're moving on. So there's lots to be proud of on and off the field, and I think everyone will take a deep breath and get ready for another dose of Q2 next weekend.
And then, from day one, it seemed like nobody took advantage of this opportunity of what this club has been more than Brad Stuver, and to see him rise to the moment in the way that he did in the shootout.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot to do tonight, to be honest. That's what he said after the game to me. I was like, all right, that's fair. But when he was called on, he did a great job. And, it's the entire group that wins, and obviously in those moments with penalties, goalkeepers are right in the limelight. And in all fairness to Brad, he's done a tremendous job on penalties. Run a play in some of the league games, and certainly the shootout, he did a fantastic job. The first one, he would probably be kicking himself if it went under him, but the other save was fantastic. The one that he touched off the post or the crossbar and kept it out. So a lot of credit goes to him. He's been fantastic for us on and off the field, and he deserves the accolades.
Is he deserving of some credit for having them go down to 10 men, you think?
I think, he's brave enough to go in there. I'll give him credit, and obviously there's a little bit of fault with the other player. I don't even think he intended to do that. He slipped into it, but when you're on a yellow already, it's, as we know, we talk to our players, you got to be real mindful. It's a delicate line, and unfortunate for them, but we utilized it.
Let's do one more question so we can get back and grab some of the players. Chris Bills.
Yeah, you kind of joked at the beginning of this that the coming back from 2 goals is your trademark, but it does seem like this group has gained a lot from those moments. Can you just talk about like being in those moments during the regular season and how that that helped tonight, knowing that you could do it?
Yeah, I think it's a reflection point. I think because we've unfortunately put ourselves in those situations and come through them on the other side, there isn't this panic. There isn't this lump of anxiety now. Like we're not going to be able to overcome this. The next goal when you're down 2-0 is quite critical, and at that point, once you get back to 2-1, you can feel the momentum of that. So our guys, felt that. We did it obviously in DC. We did it against Colorado. We did it against Orlando here at home. There's probably a couple others, but they're I wouldn't say they're comfortable, but they understand what's needed. And that's another phrase that we talk about. What does the game need? And you don't want to be down 2-0, but you got to speed up play. You have to look to gain advantages quickly, and ultimately you have to be opportunistic when the chances come. And we also did that.
All right, thanks everyone. And real quick, I believe I did say 8 p.m.